years before I was invited, or do you know that story? I was invited to walk in the Himalayas, and I didn't accept the invitation. I ever since regretted not having accepted it. So that when Kathan Brown invited me to make etchings, I accepted immediately for fear I'd never be invited again. If the mind changes, that's better than if the work was good. It'd be nice to have our cake and eat it too, and have a good work with a good mind. Now, we did this. Now we do 8 marks with tool number 1, and one of them is sharp, and one of them is long, and all the rest are medium. And there are 8 altogether. I'm very happy with it. Isn't that nice? Great. We're actually pleased by the work.
This was 5. No, this was 7. So 5 seconds should work fine.
What's the other one that we have to arch?
Plate marks, okay, it's just on this. This looks like a bird, you know. Like the whole thing looks like flying.
John, these are the colors for yours. Are you still on it?
Oh yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? These are the tables for the horizontal and vertical that give these measurements, relating it to the E King 64. And what this is, these are the intensities, the differences here. You can see that the thing we've done with the color here could be done with all these aspects, so that one could make it work in which the images were never the same. Never in the same position. And then finally, one in which the images themselves completely changed. Instead of trying to make things appear, we leave the door open at both ends, that is, so they can disappear or they can appear. I used to toss coins for the etching, but since 1969, I've been using a printout. And a program was made for me of the etching, simulating the tossing of 3 coins 6 times. The principle I'm going to use in this series, since there's 66 plates, once one is used, and then used again, will either remain as it was when it was printed before, or it will be changed. And that's why the piece is called Changes.
Works! Works perfectly.
Recalling Marcel Duchamp's work, to drop a string on that plate from either a height close to it or from a height holding my arms out straight or holding them up high. This is the first side. And this is 18. Then I connect those. And that gives another cut.
Yes, that'll be a straight cut.
Lila and Takata are cutting copper, and I'm cutting the paper so that we'll have something to test. It seemed to me that to be able to engrave required a certain calmness. And it's that calmness that I've been, one way or another, approaching in my music and writing and so forth. And then it became physical, you see, with the engraving tool. "66 plates that will be used as, you might call them nets, to catch the images from an enlarger."
Oh, look! It just caught. Oh, it's trying to...
Wait a minute. 30, what is it, 35?
Here, you check it.
Here.
Right? But I could put it anywhere within those 4 squares.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And this is BC. Let me check that. When the plates are small, for instance, the images will be in detail. That is to say, they won't be the whole image. On the other hand, sometimes they will be complete. It's impossible to predict. Then according to this mated points on the image and on the paper, they may disappear. You tell from this table now what will produce nothing.
What will produce nothing? Well, okay. This is the line. And below this, it doesn't do anything.
You think 96 and 45 together make automatically nothing?
Nothing. Automatically.
I mean, the exposure time doesn't matter if it's 4 or
4 or 6, doesn't
it will produce nothing. So that combination, it eliminates. Well, this is very nice.
So you're deliberately programming in nothing.
No, not deliberately. There's no deliberation.
I see.
There's simply a play of all the parameters. So that sometimes something happens and sometimes nothing happens. And that's how it is in nature.
Yes.
The reason that you can see this difference is because it was all developed at the same time at least. But to get this to even appear, I put it in for 2 minutes, that's all I was going to do. It was blank, nothing was off yet, so I waited and waited. This, on the other hand, went before my eyes from a gray color like this to black in less than 2 minutes. I believe if I change the S-color...
No, we must be free of such concerns. If you think of it that way, you won't know what to do. So you have to think of it in some way in which the mind doesn't go into this kind of operation of not knowing. You have to be able to work in such a way that something happens free of the mind's operation. Try to think of the first thing. What is the first thing you do?
Make this.
Okay, well, good. Then why don't we just throw it totally open to chance then? Some of them will work, some of them won't work.
This is, of course, my inclination to find out what can be done and then to set the thing in play.
Hope it flies.
This line.
It's gonna,
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
it really is gonna be huge. It's not at all the way I imagined it either.
What are you doing now? On the number of colors? Oh, it's going to be horrendous. But some get repeated.
47 combinations of colors.
No, but you haven't got these yet.
What are those? Oh, I'm not going to bother inking them if they're not on?
No, sweetie. This is the third print, and it has its own color.
That's just the first print? Oh,
This is the first, this is the
Oh.
second, and this is the third. Now, my question is, how long will it take you to mix all those colors?
Well,
See, there are 2 for this, 1 for that, 2 for this, 2 for that, and then 4.
Okay.
4 colors for that.
how many are there? 45 altogether. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54.
54 colors.
54 colors for one print?
For 1 print.
Well, I'd say it will take about an hour and a half.
Well,
Mix the
then
colors.
I'll have to take this home because I have to draw up the plan and all the papers.
Yeah, the most important thing for you to do would be to do the colors, because that'll give us something to do tomorrow.
Well, I'll do the colors first, and then I'll do as much of the rest as I can. Look at this. little line here. It's beautiful. This time we only were able to do like 6, so when I come back again, probably around a year from now, we'll carry it as far as we can.
10 days.
6 and 10 days.
I'm in an accepting frame of mind rather than a controlling frame of mind. You know what I'm thinking of with these circles are the Enstar drawings, Japanese.
I haven't seen those.
They're just circles. It looks sort of Rosenquist, 20th century or something.
So that means you're going to try to find something else?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to get something less hard edge.
Uh-huh.
Certainly had a life of its own.
Yes, I like that.
How much will these cost?
Just
Buy
50
the whole
cents a
thing?
pound, just weigh it up, whatever it weighs, bring it into the scale.
And can we then buy the whole thing and then pay you to cut them?
Yeah, you just want these cut off? Yeah, I could do that. I can do whatever you want with it after you buy it. You know, if you want to
Let's
cut.
do that.
Something.
Is it burning
You know what
through?
that is? That's the.
The blanket burning through.
I get brands from my teapots, you know,
Accidentally. Yeah.
just by pouring boiling water into my teapot. And it's sitting on wood, and the wood gets the water.
But without any paper underneath, I think it just leaves more of a weird.
So I just think that in order to get it to really burn well, we have to have a more intense source of heat.
Light it here and here center. And then we're going to let it burn for, say, 8 seconds. Okay, go.
Then where? After the 4 corners? In the middle?
Get ready to roll. Roll.
Here's the print. Well, got something.
If we're using too much paper, and because we always seem to be getting it just on the edge.
Go. It's celebrating backward, isn't it?
Yes.
Slap.
That's what it says. Ha 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 ha.
You want it to burn up
But if we burn out one completely, we'll learn about the principles of the
Ready?
Right?
Does seem like a long time.
Go.
Long time. I think we really.
No, but you'll see how interesting it is. What I imagine with these burned places is that we would have this same paper underneath.
No, you have to hold the edge.
Okay.
See, this paper is very tough, even though it's very thin. See, when this was mounted, when it's dry, when it's mounted on a white sheet of paper, it has a very different look. It's not, when it's wet, it gets opaque, and when it's dry, it's clear. We have a system.
You do.
Yeah. We put this plate in the bath, then we float the piece of gompi on the water, then we pick up the plate and the gompi at the same time, and the gompi just goes shoo,
It does.
and sticks. We blot it off and we paint the glue on the gompi, and then we put the white paper on top of that and we run it through, and that's what we do.
Oh, it's great. I think it's elegant. Is this glued down? How'd you?
Yeah, it should go in.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Don't
John
you
couldn't
think?
sleep last night. He was so worried about it because he
I
felt
was so
that.
upset. I thought that my whole life was a mistake.
So you think that's the way to go? That I mean,
Yes.
obviously, yeah. Okay.
I couldn't
After-
be more surprised. I thought this was the worst one of them all.
The only thing that Larry and I were discussing this morning is that the gompi will tend to always be this size if we go
I
ahead
like
and
that.
use.
No, I like that.
And then this paper is irregular
No,
too.
leave it.
So we'll just shall we just eyeball it every time? Or?
Eyeball it.
Okay. Okay. That's smoking. It's getting a lot of smoke right now.
Get ready. Get set. Go. That's interesting. Okay.
The limit. It's completely gone.
No, there's
You
some.
found some? So, John, is that an acceptable one, or do you want to do
No,
it
that
over?
would be acceptable. You could try to figure out how to do it.
Doesn't constitute the square.
Right.
just one corner and there's one corner.
Yes. Okay.
And these sheets come out of your computer.
Yes, I have a program called IC Supply, and I can ask for a whole sheet of numbers. I can have them in any format I wish. Non-repeating, repeating. These repeat and they're not start time of burning. So that that keeps a constantly shifting situation. Like the next one will be one piece of paper with, it's just one piece of paper this next time. And 29 seconds of fire. Whereas the last one was 2 pieces of paper and 6 seconds of fire.
I see.
It needs more time.
Ooh, you did it.
If you want to brand the prints now, I don't think it'll take long, so we can brand
We
them.
could do them. About it.
How are your solution where it sits on the paper? You're saying
I take 2. The first number is for the vertical. I mean along the top. And the second is for along the side. It's so amazing where the chance operations place things. That's good. This print is one of the most beautiful of all. It's the very first one. And this one, isn't that fantastic then? One of the definitions of so is a priest.
priest, yeah.
So it's a circle drawn by a priest.
So I guess that wouldn't work in this
We
case.
don't want to say that
Yeah.
in this case because I'm not a...
Yes, you don't want to fancy yourself.
I'm sympathetic to the idea of being
N, yeah.
N?
That sounds better.
What's N?
N. N's a circle.
We could call it N fire.
Well, that's good.
N fire.
What's fire in Japanese?
Ka
What does that mean?
means N fire. That's circle fire.
Well, that's nice. Circle stack fire. Circle stack.
Circle stack.
So if it's N and Ka?
And the circle stack fire.
And in top. Let them do that. not trusting myself as having any gift, for instance, for drawing. I used the sketches of Thoreau first, and then later I used stone, around which I felt perfectly capable of drawing. It's clear that color remains color, and that there are a multiplicity of possibilities with which we're completely unfamiliar. It's the right brush.
Brush number 10. I marked 4.
So this plate is finished. And these are samples of the color. So that the color you're looking for is, you have a sample of it. You've put the number of the stone right. Now let's look for another black here. These are the beginning. Now this is different, you see.
Yeah, this is much cooler.
Now before we go farther, since we took this stone up, we also would like to have this color. And I don't know what it is. I think it's not a white. It has a yellowish cast. Or it's a smoky yellow.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm tempted to say chocolate. And there's a suggestion of blue here, and there's a suggestion of green or yellow. Brush number 11. It's a question of finding the right question to ask, or a useful question.
So we're going to start with medium rock 4. of that one.
That little wild one is marvelous.
It is. It's the wild bunch right there.
I don't think of things as being foreground or background. I think of the surface as being essentially empty, and that anything that appears there by virtue of the emptiness of the space.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
That's finished.
Then I make a drawing around.
We're numbering each piece based on this drawing and marking front and back and which direction it goes.
And then you're going to put an aqua tint on it.
Yeah.
Don't breathe that stuff, John.
underneath of every color that we have in the entire shop that we can find. So we're using hundreds of colors.
I work with a sheet of 6 to find out how many colors in each for each plate. And then I find the colors from the sheet having to do with 64. Sometimes there are repetitions. That simply changes the percentages because the percentages are all part of 100. So that this one, for instance, has 6 colors. One of them is repeated. The first has 40%, the one that's repeated has 30%, which was actually 20 plus 10, and these have 10. We may have even gotten someone else's work.
No, that looks like to me the back of a plate that had been painted out.
It does.
And when it goes in the acid, it breaks through.
What about
sometimes.
this?
That's just a scratch.
I think this really makes me think of Marcel's statement, we should know how close to be something, where we should stand. There. And that's number 1.
Where's the third one of these? These are just great. So there's one.
They're marvelous colors, aren't they? Marvelous to look at.